Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about 710. Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about Penta 7160. Can we catch bottom of technology stocks? And I'm Nico from Homely Chat. Statement. The main purpose of this course is to learn the methods and techniques of share investment. It does not constitute any recommendations or trading tips. Any risk or profit is irrelevant to the company and myself. Trade at your own risk. Okay, so for today's course, there will be three parts. The first part is about some talk about U.S. tech stocks plumping, and 忘了查这个单词了，死了。plummeting plummet plummeting plummeting Hello, today our topic is Penta 7160, and let's see whether we can catch bottom of technology stocks. This is Nico from Homely Chat. Statement. The main purpose of this course is to learn the methods and techniques of share investment. It does not constitute any recommendations or trading tips. Any risk or profit is irrelevant to the company and myself. Trade at your own risk. Okay, so for today's course, there will be three parts. The first part, let's talk about U.S. technology stocks plummeting, and the second part is about how to tell apart the strength of Malaysian stock technology stocks, and the third part is about can we catch bottom of tech？ 哎呦我天哪，为什么全是错别字啊？Of Malaysian technology stocks. Package. Hello everyone, this is Nico from Homely Chat, and today our topic is Penta 7160. Can we catch bottom of technology stocks? Statement. The main purpose of this course is to learn the methods and techniques of share investment. It does not constitute any recommendations or trading tips. Any risk or profit is irrelevant to the company and myself. Trade at your own risk. Okay, so for today's course, there will be three parts. The first part is about some talking about U.S. technology stocks plummeting, and the second part is about the strength of Malaysian technology stocks, and the third part is about can we catch bottom of technology stocks. So let's talk about the first part. Some U.S. technology stocks plummeting because we know sometimes if we want to do some short-term trading in Malaysian technology stocks, we can refer to the trend, the development of U.S. For example, Nasdaq or some technology stocks trend. So if we see Nasdaq, we find actually 2 days it drops a lot. And I know maybe some analysts will say it because the high value of the stocks, the price is too much for the company's value, and maybe some investors may say it's because of Biden's political strategy, because in his strategy he has some bearish news about technology overseas companies, and some investors may say it's about the president. The president has been changed, because if the other one is the president, maybe technology shares will continue to rise. So there are so many reasons. But let's think about why this day, these 2 days. Actually, here is the high point. Why? And if we use technical analysis, we find, okay, here is a high point and here is another high point. And if we connect these two high points together, we can get a resistance line. And actually, these 2 days, you can see the price just reached this yellow resistance line, and the price starts to fall. So here is a resistance. So even you are a technical learner and you don't know about so much fundamental news, but you can still avoid the risk. So this is about US Technology Index, and this one is KL Technology Index daily chart. And if we see daily chart, we find the share is in mid-mountain uptrend, right? Because the direction, we can see obviously it's very good, but just several days, several days, and the price starts to fall in short term. And this is the chart of yesterday, because now I still not update my data. But what we can see is actually here is a bearish candlestick pattern. But this bearish candlestick pattern is not so powerful, because the close price of the recent candlestick is above the half of this big green candlestick, which means the half of this big green candlestick, you can check your own chart, will be a strong support here. So this is about what we see. But even we know here is a spot, the problem is why technology starts to fall here. So maybe some investor will say it's because American US, the US technology shares starts to fall, and they will have a lot of reasons. But if you are a chart learner, what we know is here is the previous high point. If we see weekly chart, we find around 2003 to 2004, here is an up, a previous high point. And now, after rising, and the price reached this area now. So we know, now we know why recent price is very hard to rise, and very shocked here. So this is the reason in charts. So what is resistance, or what we call pressure? For example, we can see the price goes up, and sometimes maybe the previous high point, or maybe the accumulation of chips, or maybe some important number for the share. For example, like 1,600 points for KLCI, 1,500 for KLCI. Like this kind of number is very meaningful for the index. So, for example, 1 ringgit, 2 ringgit, 1.5 ringgit, this kind of number may be very meaningful for certain share. So all these three types of number can become what we call resistance when price starts to rise, and when it's near around here, and the market will become to ask themselves again that whether this stock was breaking through, and if in the share market more people is doubting than confirming, the price will go down. So here is a resistance. So how to deal with resistance? So we can see first, if we follow trend, we find okay, here is uptrend forms. So I use this as my entry point. And when the price starts to move, and because it's in uptrend, so it moves upward, and now I start to make some money. It's my choice, it's my right to choose when I stop profits. Okay, and then the price will meet pressure or what we call resistance. So when price meets resistance, so some investors will have different decisions. Some investors will think, okay, after my analysis, I think at this point, the possibility of rising is more than falling, so I will hold my share. And the other investors will make the opposite decision. So the reason we use software, the reason we use some knowledge to make judgment is to judge the higher probability. But will the small probability happens? Of course it will. It's very possible. So we need to make sure if the opposite situation happens, how we deal with. For example, if I decide to hold the share, but the share doesn't rise like I think, it starts to fall. So my exit point will be when downtrend forms. So downtrend forms, okay, I will leave here. If I do not leave, I need to stop loss. If I do not stop loss, I will be trapped. So if I have decided to leave here, okay, I think I'll take profit, I leave, I quit, and the price goes up. Then how you find your entry point here? You use the same method to find the other entry point here, another entry point here. So this is about how we deal with resistance. Okay, so next part is about the strength of Malaysia on technical stocks. Okay, so we can see here several types of stocks. This is KL Technology Index, and the lower one is individual stocks. So we use this indicator, is called the Homely Rainbow, HRB, Homely Rainbow. It is a special indicator in Homely software. So now we compare its long-term trend. In KL Technology Index, we can see white color is below blue color, which means the share is in long-term uptrend. And if white line, you can see if white line is above blue lines, which means the share is in long-term downtrend. So we can see even in a strong sector, there are some stocks in long-term downtrend. So this kind of stock is all the time weak. And the second type is recently the stocks becomes weak, because we can see this is KL Technology Index, and the lower one is individual stock. If we compare its long-term trend, we find its long-term trend is almost the same. White line is below blue line. White line is below blue lines. So this is long-term uptrend. And then we compare its midterm trend. For midterm trend, we see yellow color. If yellow color is upward, which means the index is in midterm uptrend. But if the yellow color is downward, which means this individual stock is in midterm downtrend. So we can see recently this stock gets weaker. And the third type is what we call the same trend. Same trend. And actually there's some stocks stronger than index. But because this index, technology sector index is so strong, so even you find some same trend stocks, you can get very good profits. So we find their movement almost the same, right? So this is what we call same trend stocks. And their performance is different when the index is falling. So let's have a look. So first is what we call strong stocks. So we can see here is a previous high point, and this is KL Technology Index, and the lower one is individual shares. So we find when the stock breaks through the high point here. So we can see for the individual shares is around here, but for the index is around here, which means this share breaks through earlier than the whole index, which means this individual share is stronger than the sector index. And when the price starts to fall, what's the performance of a strong stock? We can see no gap, no downward gap. So it's very strong, right? So that's why we usually choose strong stocks to trade, because when the stock starts to move or starts to rise, it can rise much than the index. And when the index starts to fall, it can fall less than the index. So it's more safe for retailers. And the second is the performance of same trend stocks. So we can see they just break through the previous high point around the same time. So the performance is almost the same. Here is a downward gap, right? And here is a performance of weak stocks. You can see previous high point has been breakthrough and a breakthrough again. But for these individual shares, previous high never gets broken through. So this share is weaker than index. So we can see for the index, yellow line is the support. But for this individual share, we can see a very big downward gap, and now yellow line becomes resistance. And we know yellow line means midterm. So this share is in midterm downtrend now, and the whole sector is still in midterm uptrend. So the weak stocks may not rise as we expected, it may go lower. And the third part is about how to catch bottom of technology stocks. So we need to know about catch bottom. In our imagination, catch bottom is like, okay, here is a bottom, or I catch. So I'm so happy. But the actual is, when the stock starts to fall, oh thanks God I buy here, and it starts to fall again. Okay, I still have money, I can buy again. Now I have average down, and then the price continues to fall. And okay, maybe some investors will think, oh, how can it be? And when the price continues to fall, okay, I got trapped. I'm so sad. So this is imagination, and this is the actual. And the second thing we need to know about bottom catch is what Buffett said. He pointed out that himself have never said that he would catch bottom of stock market. The so-called catch the bottom was a kind of point of view imposed on him by others. From his point of view, as long as the value of a stock reaches a worthy investment area, it can be bought. So what we know, because many investors they want to catch bottom as him, but what we know from his words is that first he has a lot of money, because as long as the price keeps falling, he can buy all the time. And the second point, he has a lot of time. You see, he says as long as the value of a stock reaches a worthy investment area, it can be bought. So if the stock will rise in 1 year, in 2 years, in 10 years, if in 2 years the share doesn't rise, in 10 years it will rise. If in 10 years the share doesn't rise, then in 20 years the share will rise. So he has a lot of time, he has a lot of patience, but money and the time is what retailers lack of. So we must know some misunderstanding about bottom catch. So now let's talk about 7160 Penta, and this is the daily chart. First, let's make a comparison between KL Technology Sector Index and this individual. So if we see the midterm trend, they are the same, right? Midterm uptrend. But which one is stronger? Of course, we think it's the index. Why? because we can see in short term. If in short term we want to analyze its direction, we need to see the yellow line, the red lines. If red lines is upward, which means the short term of the index is in uptrend. But for this share, we can see it used to be in uptrend, upward direction, the red line. But now the red line becomes lower, which means it's in downward direction. So in short-term trend, Penta is weaker than the whole index. So maybe some investors want to know, okay, can I catch the bottom? So we must analyze the share first. So if we say the long-term trend, of course the share is in long-term uptrend, and the mid-term uptrend, mid-term support is the yellow line, and the short-term is in downtrend, right? And if we analyze the farms, okay, so how to analyze the farms, which means how to analyze who is controlling the share, we need to use an indicator called MCD, which means this one. So we can see this indicator, it has three colors. First color is green, and yellow and red. So yellow, green color means retailers. Retailers cannot push up the price. If a share is controlled by retailers, it will be very weak. And then it's hot money. A yellow color is hot money. Hot money, they are small institutions. And hot money, they will faster in and out a share, so it's very hard to track them. And the third color is red. Red means bankers. Bankers are big institutions. If bankers' money keep inflowing a share, then the share will have so much power to be in uptrend. So we follow bankers. We can see when bankers increase and the retailers decrease, and the share will rise very good, right? And for retailers, we sometimes ignore them because they do short-term trading. Okay, they may trade every day here. Okay, so when the share, when the bankers decreasing, and you can see the money, the share, the price will hard to break through and will hard to rise. And when the bankers increase again, here is a small rise. And when bankers leave now, and the share is in correction now. So this is what we see about funds and trends. So in the future, we can see here is a line, a 50 line. You can see dotted white. Okay, here dotted white color. Here is actually 50 lines, which means if bankers they are above 50%, which means bankers can still control the market. If we can say for this share, bankers is above 50% line for such a long time. So if bankers decrease less than 50%, we should pay attention. Okay, and if we want to do some short-term trading, like we want to catch the bottom, we still need to follow trend, but we need to follow short-term trend. So this indicator, we can say is called red and the white circle. The first red circle is our entry point, and the first white circle is our exit point. So now we can see for this share, it is still in white circle. So is there entry point? No, right? So if we want to catch the bottom, we need to pay attention. Okay, so our investment strategy is, if you're trading long term, okay, then you can operate according to Homely Rainbow. You remember the blue and the white lines. So as long as white line is below blue lines, so long-term trend of the share will be good. And if you trade in mid-term, you can operate according to Homely Rainbow yellow lines. Remember yellow line? You can see here is the resistance. Here is the support. If the share is above the support, then okay. But if in the future it breaks down and rebound but cannot break through, it will go down, now which means midterm goes down. And if you trade in short term, you can operate according to homely red and white circle. Remember, the first red circle is what we are waiting for. That's all for today, and this is Homely Chat. Our investment philosophy is index first, stock next, long term first, short term next. Operate the familiar. If you like this video and then you want to see more video, please subscribe Homely Chat Malaysia. Thank you.